Hello everyone, this is James and welcome to today's Grim Dawn video. So we are doing the third part of my build diary series for my Firestrike Purifier, and I have a few new things to share with you. So starting out, I just want to talk about generally how the character's been going. I feel like one of my primary concerns initially was with single target DPS, and that's definitely improved. And then my issue became survivability as I started to get further into Ultimate, and I feel like though there are times I still will just get one or two shot, I think mostly my character is fairly safe right now, and I'll explain why as we get along. Just of note, I did finish the campaign on Ultimate on this character not too long ago, so all of this is just basically fresh out of the campaign. Oh, and as per my last videos, there are some timestamps in the description, and that they should show up, on the video player. So if you feel like jumping around and looking at some things, you can feel more than welcome to do that. All right, moving on to the gear section here. So I have made some changes to the gear, not significantly. So the first thing here is I saw that I had this belt, Ulzin's Torment, which was a craftable belt that I'm not sure where I got the blueprint from. It might have just been a random drop. I'll put the blueprint on screen here if it drops from any specific location. If not, just assume it's random. So yeah, I saw that it had some +2 demolitionist and some pluses to some demo skills, and has fire and lightning damage, so I went ahead and crafted it and replaced it with my random monster frequent belt that I was using before. And after that, I got this legendary chest, which again has some synergy with fire and lightning damage, fire strike, bursting rounds, so all the things that we want on a piece of gear basically. So I put that on. And I got these legendary boots. They don't have a ton on them stat wise. The pierce resistance is probably one of the biggest things, and I always try to look for health on my gear, although I don't really know how important that is in this game. But the thing that I really was interested in was the % increased armor, and the passive Golemborn gives me even more base armor, and so that gets me up to around 1800 armor when that procs, and that feels pretty good. And then I don't remember if I mentioned this or had access to this in my last video, but I'm now running with a regular Havoc and a mythical Havoc. Mythical version is just for a higher level, and the stats are a bit better, but otherwise I believe everything is still the same. I do see actually the mythical one is like +2 cadence, I think, as well, or no, +2 to deadly aim, whereas the regular one doesn't. And the mythical one has some bonuses for Markovian's advantage, where the regular one doesn't. So usually I believe you'll see on mythical or empowered gear that it will, of the same item, it will have some additional bonuses. So it's usually, I think, better for, stats alone, it's better to go for the higher tier gear, but also you can get some additional bonuses, which is pretty cool. Last thing is I'm thinking about making replacing my amulet at level 94 with this one mythical one that I found. Has some bonuses to fire and physical damage, fizz to fire conversion, and obviously fire strike and bursting rounds. I feel like it's just a bit of a better version of the amulet I'm wearing now. I do lose out on some offensive and defensive ability, and the poison and acid resistance has been something I've been struggling with for a while. So I may have to make some adjustments there, but otherwise it seems like a pretty decent upgrade. So when I hit level 94, I'm going to look to put this on. And moving on from there, I know I mentioned last video that I didn't see myself maybe adding any more skills to my bar, but I ended up doing so, and I'll talk about that now. So I added Flashbang from the Demolitionist tree because it has a pretty high base chance to confuse the weaker enemies, and that can make kiting and just surviving a bit easier in general. Although probably putting more points into it would be better. I think I'll just keep it at 1 or 2 for now and see how that goes, and if I decide to invest more in it later, then I might do so. And the other new skill I'm using, which is probably more of note at this point, is Inquisitor Seal. So this one does a bunch of things. So it affects you and the enemy. So when the enemy is standing in, it does a bunch of damage, and more damage depending on the enemy type. And then when you're standing in it, it gives you damage absorption, health regen, and elemental resistance. And then with the connector Arcane Empowerment, you get some damage bonuses for it. So that's what I'm using it for primarily. One of the cool things is that it lives for like 24 seconds, and you can summon a bunch of them at once. So what I'll end up doing is, popping some of my other abilities and then throwing a few seals on the ground and like kiting enemies between them for that damage bonus. It's not exactly the playstyle that I prefer, to be honest, because I feel like it incentivizes me to be a bit more stationary. And honestly, when I am playing characters like this, like the dual wield gunslinger, any range character, I really prefer being as mobile as possible. So like I tried using this for a while in normal, and I couldn't really see myself using it as much back then, but I figured I'd try it out again. And the playstyle again is not exactly what I prefer, but it's not been too bad. Especially the damage bonuses have been nice, and I feel like the damage absorption has actually helped make me just a little bit tankier against some normal enemies. So I'm not sure if I'll end up putting many points into the base ability itself. I'll see, after I do some more stuff in Ultimate, how many points I have to spare, because obviously I'm running out, and I have some things that aren't even close to maxed out here. So I'm not sure where I'll take the skill. Maybe I'll level it all the way up if I can, but that's kind of where I'm at for now with it. And as for devotions, the only thing that I think I've changed since last time is I added on the Bard's Harp. It has some damage bonuses, some utility, and like health and energy and resistances. And I thought that the inspiration part of it was interesting because it gives me a bunch of regen and CC res and a lot of offensive and defensive ability when it procs. So I thought that it was pretty cool defensive node to take, and I've definitely noticed it when it's procs. I get a lot of offensive and defensive ability popping up, and I'm a lot more evasive and I don't take as much damage and stuff. So yeah, I thought that was a cool addition. So yeah, as for next steps with this character, I think the next update that I'll make, because I'm pretty much done at this point, the next update that I make, I think, will be when I have completed Ashes Malmoth and Forgotten Gods, and we're at the end of everything, the campaign, and we get ready to do some stuff in the end game. I won't hold you guys here any longer. I appreciate everyone for watching. I hope you've been enjoying this little series so far. I'll have the other episodes linked in the description as well, or the playlist, just depending on what I end up doing. So if you missed an episode, you can feel free to go back and watch another part there. And yeah, so thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a good one.